Virgo, what's poppin'? It's your girl D here with 8th House Energy, here to bring you a Mercury Retrograde reading, combined with the Sagittarius Lunar Eclipse reading. This is going to be a general read for Virgo. Take what resonates, leave the rest. If you need a personal reading, my information is in the box below. All right, so we're talking about Mercury Retrograde. Mercury Retrograde is going to be in effect the pre-shadow period and the post-shadow period included. We're looking at May 16th through July 6th. Now, before you in the comments talking shit, because I know how you Virgos are, some of y'all very analytical, and you're not listening because you're thinking too much. The pre-shadow stage is 2 weeks prior to the actual retrograde itself. So if the actual retrograde begins May 23rd and goes through June 22nd, do the math to figure out the post-retrograde. The post-shadow period and the pre-shadow period. And you'll see why I came up with the dates I came up with. Now, let's talk about Mercury. That's your ruling planet. I don't want that because it came out a way that I'm not sure how to read it. Let me get another one. Okay. So we talk about Mercury retrograde, right? That's your ruling planet. Mercury's the planet of communication. Now, it's in the house of Gemini. So what does that mean? That house represents your environment where you grew up. It represents your extended family, your siblings, your cousins, your aunties, your uncles. It represents local travel. If we're talking local travel, we're talking anywhere in the country in which you live. Okay? We're talking okay, I just had a brain fart. So what I want to talk to you about is the reason why I'm doing the Mercury retrograde reading in the same reading with the Sagittarius lunar eclipse. Well, if we look at a chart, right? Like say this is a chart, a natal chart. And we have the first house, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th. For those of you who need me to break that down for you and you can't see it too well. Here's the first house. So since you're a Virgo, your first house is here. But we know if we're just looking at a general chart, the first house is Aries. The second house is Taurus, then Gemini. All right. But since we're starting with Virgo, Virgo is the first house. So what sign comes after Virgo? After Virgo comes Libra. All right. After Libra comes Scorpio. After Scorpio comes Sagittarius. So we're looking at your fourth house here because this is where the Sagittarius lunar eclipse is. Right? So now we have the fourth house as Sag. So I'm just going to put that there, this mark here, because we're dealing with the fourth house for you. Now that's Sag. What comes after Sag? Capricorn. What comes after Capricorn? Aquarius. After Aquarius comes Pisces, right? And then after Pisces comes Aries, right? And then Taurus, right? And then after Taurus comes Gemini. So we're dealing with the 10th house for you, okay? Because Gemini is in Mercury. And for you, since your first house is here because you are a Virgo ascending sign or you're a Virgo sun sign, the 10th house is where Gemini is in retrograde. And the 4th house is where Sagittarius is in the lunar eclipse, okay? So now, the 4th house and the 10th house are opposite. The 4th house represents your private life, okay? The 10th house represents your public life. So they're always opposite polarities. Now, on a traditional chart where Aries comes first, Taurus comes second, Gemini comes third, the 4th house, of course, is Cancer, and that deals with your private life. This is why I say this is your private life. All right. And then we go all the way around to the 10th house, which is Capricorn. Capricorn deals with your public life or how people know you as far as the career you are in. So it's your reputation to people outside your home, right? So private life, personal life. So we have cards for each. So this represents Gemini, which is the 10th house for you. This symbol represents the 4th house, which is where the Sagittarius eclipse is at, the lunar eclipse. Now, what I'm using is runes, R-U-N-E-S. They are another form of divination, just like tarot cards are a form of divination. Forms of divination are used to interpret the energies that we can't touch, that we can't see, but we can actually feel, okay, and understand. So if you are interested in runes, you can do some research on those. These cards I got on Amazon, especially for those of you who are readers and you want to add to your divination palette. You can definitely check into runes. They're pretty cool. I like using them. They're usually in the traditional form. They usually come on stones. You'll see symbols on stones, like, little stones shaped like this. Doesn't have to be this color, but that's traditionally where you see runes. But they've put them on cards now, right? And they give the definitions on the back. So we're using runes today to represent, again, this represents this Mercury retrograde. For you, it's in the 10th house. And then this represents the Sagittarius lunar eclipse, which is the opposite energy, the opposite polarity on the chart, right? So all of us are dealing with this energy as an opposite polarity. So for you, Virgo, it's the 4th and 10th house. Now, let's talk about it. So the 10th house is your public life. It's your professional achievements. It's like if you're a doctor, people know you as a doctor. All right. You may have your certificates in, study on your walls. Those are your professional achievements. The 10th house also deals with your morals and your values, the internal police. So, for example, what you feel is right and what you feel is wrong, what you won't stand for as an individual versus what you will stand for, right? So maybe you're the type of person who feels like, you know what, I don't believe in traditional marriages. That falls under the 10th house. That's your morals and your values, all right? So that's an example of morals and values of many, okay? So that's what we're dealing with the 10th house. The 10th house also deals with your goals. What kind of life goals do you have? What's your profession? What do you do to make a living? When you go to these corny, cheesy ass networking events, oh, what do you do for a living? That type of stuff. Like, I laugh at that because I used to be in corporate America. I have a bachelor's in cybersecurity and I have a master's in international business. And so I used to attend these networking events and they're just so full of shit. And yeah, but that's basically how people would decide if they wanted to do business with you. Oh, what do you do for a living? But that's what the 10th house represents, right? So that type of stuff. So when we're talking about the 4th house, what are we talking about? We're talking about your private life, what goes on behind closed doors. It also deals with your roots, your bloodline. It deals with the nurturing energy that you've experienced in your formative years or the lack thereof, and how that affects you in your relationships today. So when we talk about Mercury, the planet of Mercury, that's your ruling planet as well, but it's Gemini's ruling planet too, and it's in the house of Gemini. So what we're talking about with that is Mercury itself. It's the planet of the logical mind, okay? Planet of the logical mind is in your 10th house. The planet of the subconscious mind, which is Sagittarius, or the energy of the subconscious mind, is Sagittarius, which is in your 4th house. So logical mind, Gemini, Sagittarius, subconscious mind. They're always opposite polarities of each other, okay? Always. When you say, what's the opposite polarity of Gemini? Always say Sagittarius. What's the opposite polarity of Taurus? Always say Scorpio. What's the opposite polarity of Virgo? Always say Pisces. That's how you look at it, because it's just the opposite area of the chart. Now, so when we talk about the private life, okay, we're talking about, I'm sorry, I got it backwards. So this is Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius. So Sagittarius is down here, right? Didn't I say that? Sagittarius is here. And then here is opposite of Sagittarius. I just told you, right? Opposite of Sagittarius is Gemini. Yeah, okay, I had it right. So Gemini's in the 10th house, Sagittarius in the 4th. I had to check myself for a minute. I got thrown off for a quick second. So Sagittarius is down here. This is where your lunar eclipse is going to be. It's in your private life. Now, we know that the 4th house is ruled by the moon energies anyway. So what's the lunar eclipse? Well, the lunar eclipse, lunar represents your emotions, your feelings, your creative imagination, your intuition, right? So when we talk about eclipses do what? They eclipse out something. They close out something. So we're closing out the negative emotions and feelings that you may have not been able to process. This is how the mind works. Long story short, Gemini is the logical mind, right? Sagittarius is the subconscious mind. So when a thought comes in, so I gave an example when I did Gemini's reading. I gave an example. Say you're in a relationship with someone, right? And you guys break up. Well, what happens is in a logical mind, you process the fact that you've broken up with this person, the emotions and everything that's involved. See, Gemini technically doesn't deal with emotion, right? It just deals with the information itself. Now, when that information comes in that you broke up, sometimes emotions get in the way and won't allow you to process that information so that it goes from the logical mind to the conscious mind, the subconscious mind. What gets in the way is emotion, right? So emotion's in the middle. So what happens is when it tries to come here from the logical mind and go to the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind deals with wisdom. What does wisdom represent? It represents that you've been through a situation and you've gone through the emotional aspect of it and you processed the emotional aspect of it. And now you've taken those lessons you've learned and they've turned into wisdom, which makes you wise. You only get wisdom through experience, right? Well, when the logical mind can't process a situation, say you broke up with a person and it's hard for you to deal with the fact, it's hard for you to let this person go, it's hard for you to move on. A lot of people go through that, right? That means that it has not been processed. It's still stuck in the logical mind. It has not been processed because the emotions got in the way, which created a block from it going from the logical mind to the subconscious mind, which represents Sagittarius, right? Sagittarius rules the subconscious mind. It deals with religion and philosophy. Okay, it deals with your religious and spiritual beliefs, whether you're a religious person or a spiritual person. And if you're not either, it just deals with your philosophy of life, right? So, and it also deals with wisdom, right? Okay, so with the logical information here that you've broken up with this person, say you are able to process it. You got through the emotion of it. When you get through the emotion of something, you accept the fact that it is what it is. Okay, you accept it and you move on, and it goes from the logical mind to the subconscious mind, which turns into wisdom from the experience you had with that relationship. Well, some people get caught up and they can't get past the emotional piece, so they get stuck. So what happens is when Mercury goes retrograde, Mercury goes into that logical mind, and it says, "Look, we got to clean out these cobwebs. We got to clean out what's up in here. Why is this in here? This should have went to the subconscious mind. Why is it still in here?" So when Mercury goes into retrograde, what happens is thoughts of this person may come to you, right? And you're like, "Damn, why do I keep thinking about this person? It hurts to think about this person. I don't want to think about this person." It's because you have not dealt with it emotionally. You've not accepted the death of the relationship. All right. And that could be in any respect with any situation. You've not accepted the ending of it. And so therefore it's still huddled in your subconscious mind. In your conscious mind. So Mercury retrograde will bring things up to you that are still huddled in the conscious mind that you need to get rid of. And what it'll do is it'll make you think about it. You'll keep thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. And you'll get pissed. Like, why does this person keep coming into my mind, right? And it's because you not deal with the emotional aspect of it. So what you need to do is one of two things. You need to maybe you'll be pulled to do one or two things. You may be pulled because this person's on your mind to call them or contact them and speak with them. Maybe it's to apologize if you did them wrong. So maybe subconsciously you're mad and you can't process it because you did this person wrong the way you broke up. Maybe you ghosted them. And so with Mercury retrograde, this person keeps coming back to your mind. And you're like, damn, I did leave them kind of shitty. I didn't, say I was leaving. I just bounced. Right? And so you're not able to process that. So you may get subconsciously want to call this person and see what's up with them and apologize to them. Now, say you call this person and they don't accept your apology. They tell you eat shit. It's okay. Just apologize, because what that's going to do is it's going to help you to clear that block so that you can come from the subconscious, you can come from the conscious mind and bring that energy into the subconscious where it belongs so that you can turn it into wisdom. Right? Now, say it's the opposite end of the spectrum. This person broke up with you and you were not able to get over it. This person ghosted you. And then say all of a sudden this person keeps coming to your mind out of this Mercury retrograde. Well, what you may need to do is sit down and accept the fact that the situation is over, whatever way you need to do. Maybe you need to look at the fact that maybe this person was pulling the wool over your eyes and you didn't want to pay attention to it. You were just so infatuated or just wanted to have the relationship work that you didn't pay attention to the red flags. A lot of times we don't understand what happened in a situation until we come up out of it, whether we come up out of it willingly or unwillingly. So now Mercury retrograde is making you remember back, go back into retrospection about the situation. In order for it to process and come out of the conscious mind into the subconscious mind, you're going to need to accept the fact that, yeah, this person did give me some red flags, but I ignored it. You know what I'm saying? Or, yeah, I knew this wasn't going to last, but, I didn't know they was going to do me like that. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to come to closure with that. Okay, come to closure with it. And once you come to closure with it and you say, okay, yeah, I learned, I could have paid attention, I didn't. What happens is now you're learning from the situation and it's going to the subconscious mind as wisdom. All right. So for the person who did someone dirty, if you can't get in contact with that person, like I say, if you get in contact with them and you apologize, this person doesn't have to take you back. So don't be going back to apologize to someone thinking they're going to take you back. Now, maybe you want them to, right? But if they don't, they have a choice not to. But at least your conscience is clear. It's because you made a point to apologize. So don't go to someone apologizing with the intent of getting back with them, especially if you did them dirty. Now, if they want you back, they'll let you know. But if they don't, be okay with that. Don't be on some shitty shit because that was the karma you laid out, right? So you have to correct it. So apologize to the person. Now, at least if they don't take it, you've apologized and now you can clear your conscious, you can clear out that block and you can move the energy from the conscious mind to the subconscious mind. And you've learned from that. Okay, I won't ghost anybody no more. I won't treat people like that anymore. Moving on. Now, if it's a situation where you can't get in contact with this person because maybe they live away, you don't know where they live, or they may have passed away, what you can do is on the night of the lunar eclipse, which is May 26th, but check the dates because I might be wrong. Google it. On that night, you can write a letter to that person. Write whatever it is that you want to say to them. Write it out. And at midnight at that lunar eclipse, go outside on your porch or wherever you want to go, but go somewhere outside, read it out loud, and then burn it. But before you do that, call on your spirit guides, your guardian angels, and your ancestors and ask them to send this message to that person. Just because they're not here physically does not mean that they're not here. Energy does not disappear. It just transforms. You ask your ancestors to send that message to them, your spirit guides, your guardian angels, your Jesus, Allah, whatever you believe, to send that message to this person and burn it. It will go. And that will help you to clear out this energy in your conscious mind and take it to the subconscious. All right? Boom. Now let's get going. So let's get a clarifier before we pull these cards. Oops, sorry, hold on. All right, let's get a clarifier for each. Okay, so there's that. That's strength. So I'm going to get a clarifier for the major arcana. And then we have the 7 of coin. All right, so hold on. Let's get a clarifier for the major arcana of strength. And then we will break this energy down real quick. So if this resonates this far and you understand what I'm saying, feel free to click that like button. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, you guys, okay? Hit the notification bell. That way you'll know when I post. Let me know how you feel in the comments. I really love implementing astrology into the tarot. That's something that I enjoy doing. If this is not something you enjoy, don't put it in a comment, okay? Find a reader who doesn't do astrology, period. All right, so we're talking about the Mercury Retrograde, which is in your 10th house, your reputation, how people see you, okay? Even how you see yourself, how outsiders see you and how you're seen to outsiders. The rune that we are using is called the Jera. Here it is. Here's the symbol. And it's Jera. It is either the letter J or the letter Y. So here's the information on it. So I will sit this here for you so that you can pause it and read it. But I'm going to read it for you. So it talks about a yearly cycle. The key words are wheel of the year, seasons, harvest, cycle of life. Sounds like your energy, huh? Because your harvest season, fruition, year, fertility and abundance. But what this really sounds like to me is the wheel of fortune. Manifesting endeavors, birthdays and anniversaries. The wheel of the year writes. The harvest at the end of the work. What you reap, what you sow. Successes require effort. Life, death, and rebirth. Building on the past efforts. Work towards the future. The seasons of life. Turning inspiration into reality. Right? So this is what this symbol represents in your 10th house. So some of you, you could be going through a cycle in your work life. As far as your professional career, your achievements, and your endeavors. This could also just be on a moral level as well. All right? So you're harvesting at the end of the work. You're reaping what you're sowing. Your success requires effort. So the effort that you put into your career endeavors, you're seeing you're reaping the benefits of it now. If you didn't put a lot of work in, With Mercury in retrograde, you're going to be looking back saying, damn, okay, what could I have done differently? Maybe I should have finished school. Maybe I should have taken that certification. Maybe I shouldn't have took that certification. Maybe I should have went over here and took that job overseas. Or, just basically, pondering on what you could have done differently for career. All right. Some of you may not have any regrets in that area. So now you may be pondering on what you want to do moving forward. Use the retrograde energy as a time of reflection, right? Fix whatever needs to be fixed, and plan for whatever needs you have moving forward, so that when it's time to move forward and the planet goes direct, you can go full throttle with your plans. Now we have that clarified with the strength energy, which is the major arcana of Leo. This is all about your solar plexus. I am having the energy and understanding that you can do whatever it is that you want to do. You have the power, you have the control, you have the self-discipline. You just have to implement it. We have that clarified with the Five of Diamonds, which is the Five of Pentacles. So for some of you, maybe your financial situation is lacking because perhaps maybe you didn't take the route that you wanted to take, or you did not pursue what you wanted to pursue, or maybe you're thinking, okay, I want to change professions. Okay, so that could be what you're experiencing in the 10th house. Now, with the 4th house in your private life, we are dealing with the symbol called Berkano. Okay, and it came out reversed. This is it upright. So I'm going to show you the definition of it in reverse. And again, if you like these cards and you like runes and you want to work with them, you can order them on Amazon.com. So Berkano reversed. Here's the information here. So you can go ahead and pause it and read it. But what it is infertile ground, lack of nurturing, blocked creativity, no future development. So for some of you in your private life, there is something going on where this could have been something that stemmed from childhood, because remember, the 4th house deals with the nurturing years, in your formative years, the nurturing figure in your formative years. So that could play it could be playing a role in what's going on in your professional life, or how people see you as far as reputation. You hear the sirens, right? So that's, for some of you, that's what's up. So I'm going to pause that real quick. Okay, so again, correlating the 10th house energy of your professional career, your professional endeavorments, your achievements, and your moral, personal feelings about yourself and your reputation about yourself and how other people see you. We have the Berkano energy, which talks about infertile ground, lack of nurturing. So in your career, there could be infertile ground, lack of nurturing, block creativity, no future development. So maybe you guys are in a position where it's like you want more money, but you may not have the certifications or the qualifications to put you in a position that would give you more money. So now with Mercury in retrograde, you may be thinking about that. Okay. With it being in your 4th house here, you could be realizing that, you were blocked because maybe it was things going on in your private life, and it had a direct effect on your professional life. So maybe there were some relationships that you were in your personal private life that took up so much energy that it interfered in you moving forward in your professional endeavors. So it could have been a negative relationship that you were in. You were so busy trying to keep this relationship going that perhaps it interfered with you making money. Also, what happens is when you're with people that you should not be with, the universe will block your money. It'll block your financial blessings. All right. Sometimes it's your ancestors that do it. So a lot of us think that we're cursed. Your ancestors will block your gifts quicker than anybody or anything else, because they don't want you with this person. So for some of you, that could be the situation, or maybe they don't want you at this job. So that's why you're miserable there. That's why you're not making any money. That's why when you're trying to apply for, maybe they don't want you at that company. So maybe that's why when you apply for a position in another place, within the organization, just in another department, you don't get it. Because the universe don't want you there, perhaps. But you keep staying there, and you're not happy there. So maybe you come out of the company altogether, okay? Some of you may be considering taking positions overseas, or going into some type of international business, because Sagittarius deals with foreign travel. And for you, we're talking about your professional achievements, business endeavors, things like that. So maybe some of you are considering taking a job in a foreign market, or maybe some of you did that and now you're regretting it. But the lunar eclipses are to remove any emotional blocks. So some of you may need to think about what is blocking you from being successful in your career endeavors. What emotional blocks do you have within? Because that's what it is. It's something that is going on within your house right now. Maybe the relationships you have, the relationship dynamics you have. Perhaps you're with somebody the universe doesn't want you to be with anymore. Or it could be something that stemmed from childhood where there was a lack of nourishing in your childhood life. And as a result, you've, as an adult, you've attracted these same type of relationships in your personal life. And it's having a negative effect on your life, your professional life. You know, think about it like this. You have a cup of water, right? A bowl of water. And you drop a drop of black ink in it. The black ink is not going to just stay in one part of the bowl. It's going to spread throughout the entire bowl. If the entire bowl represents every aspect of your life, right? So say all of these houses represent every aspect of your life, and this is a bowl of water, and we drop the dot in here. It's all going to spread out through every area of your life. So here's your private life. If you got problems in your personal life at home, or when you were a kid, you had some issues growing up and those issues weren't resolved, they are going to have an impact in your professional life. And that's what some of you are experiencing. Or what's going on right now is in your adult life, your relationship you're in is not right. So as a result, it's having a negative effect on your career, right? So, you know, pay attention to what the universe is telling you. So use that Mercury retrograde energy to figure out, why am I not in a successful career environment? What's going on? Sometimes it's not about the job. Sometimes it's about what's going on in your personal life. For you guys, that's what it's going to be. So look at what's going on in your personal life. What's not? Why are you not happy? Is it the relationship that you're in? Okay, well, why are you in this relationship still? You know, is it based on egotistical needs, or is it based on something else? Is it financial? You know, is it because it's financially comfortable? Is it because you don't want to let this person go? You'll know if the relationship is not right because things ain't been right for y'all for a minute. And a lot of times what happens is the universe, here we go with this again. The universe will put people into our life to teach us a lesson. That's the universal realm. On the 3D realm, we may be introduced to this person as a family member or a friend or a lover. So we marry this person, get into a relationship with them. But once the lesson has been taught, the relationship falls apart. But yet we still try to hold on to it and try to work it out. And we don't understand why it won't work. Because the universe said, I'm just introducing you to this person because this is the person who's going to teach you this lesson. In the 3D realm, you took it like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to marry you. I'm supposed to have sex with you. I'm supposed to have kids with you. I'm supposed to be with you. And so as a result of us not paying attention to the universal laws and only paying attention to 3D, we tend to stay in relationships that are not beneficial to us. And the universe and our ancestors specifically will punish us for being in relationships that we're supposed to come out of, by punishing us by taking our money, not giving us financial wealth and abundance, and even taking our health, depending on, how defiant you are. So with Mercury in retrograde, you may want to reminisce or reflect back on why you're not happy. Okay. Also, with the 10th house, it deals with your reputation, whether it's in a professional environment or just regular, just how people know you. What is your reputation? You'll see how people treat you, so you'll know what your reputation is, right? So when we talk about the lunar eclipse, we're eclipsing out those emotions, those negative emotions and negative energies that are keeping you from being successful in your private life. And in turn, once you eclipse them out, like I said, you eclipse them out here in your Gemini logical mind. You handle them, get rid of the emotional block so that it can process to the logical mind, and then things will get better for you. So you use the Mercury retrograde energies and the Sagittarius moon energies to do so. So we got the 7 of coin here. So yeah, this is about putting in work. This is about being patient with yourself, really sitting down and investigating what the issue is, right? Planting seeds, looking at the seeds that were already planted, okay, and looking at what the growth is in those situations, because we're looking at harvesting what it was that we invested in, right? Because this is what this was talking about in the professional, talking about you reap what you sow, a harvest at the end of the work, right? So this is what the 7 of Pentacles looks at. What kind of work have you put in? Did you put in enough work? If you did, what did you put work into? Were it the wrong things? Right? So this is what you have to focus on. And then you want to eclipse that energy out, that negative energy, so that you're able to move forward. So let's get a card that represents the energies you may be able to use to get you past this. And we'll wrap up your reading. Aries, the radical. So with the Aries energy is all about taking charge. Okay? It's all about being active, being a self-starter, being daring, being fierce, being assertive, fiery, exhilarating, innocent, on a mission, bossy, thriving, driving, sparky, courageous, selfish, macho, impulsive, argumentative, competitive. So you may want to look at if you're exhibiting some of these traits. If you're dealing with someone who's very competitive, or if you are competitive, argumentative, impulsive, selfish, bossy, assertive, fiery, maybe these energies are what's holding you back. So you want to look at these energies of Aries and see if they're holding you back from having a good personal life or private life, which will then affect your professional life positively. For some of you, it's not anything personal. It could be that you're just not applying yourself as far as what you want to do in life. Maybe you need to take a class and you won't do it, or you've been putting it off, or you've been bullshitting, or you can't afford it, or whatever is keeping you from doing it. You need to do it. So maybe you need to use this Aries energy as, one of the characteristics is self-starting, being daring, being assertive, okay, being exhilarating, enthusiastic. So maybe you need to jump into that energy and just do it, because Aries is very impulsive energy. So it's like oh yeah, I know I need to go to school, I know I need to register, but I just ain't did it yet. Just do it. Just be like, you know what, right now I'm pausing this video and I'm going to go online, I'm going to apply for, this class, or I'm going to apply for this school. A lot of times when you're applying for schools, it takes 5 minutes for you to fill out the info session, so they could just give you a card for the info for them to call you back. It takes 5 minutes to do, right? So you say you do that, and that is putting you one step further to where you need to go. Now use these energies between now and July 6th to reflect on what's going on in your personal life and what's going on in your career life, and figure out what's best for you. So that's what I got for you, Virgo, for your Mercury retrograde and your Sagittarius lunar eclipse. If you need a personal, my information is in the box below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. That way you'll know when I post your next reading. Check your other placements as well, because it'll help to put pieces together so that you can see your life in the total in reference to how to use these energies to your benefit. All right, Virgo, later.